This ain't working. Hey everybody, how you doing today? My name is Terry, and welcome to my channel. I just came on here today. I'm testing out my new laptop. This is my first video on my new laptop, and my first starting out as a live stream ever. So it's going to be unedited. It's going to be really raw, but bear with me. Have you ever had one of those days where you're just like totally frustrated and you just want one thing to work out? Well, that's the kind of day I'm having today. All I wanted to do was go to the store, buy a new laptop, try out a payment program that my children live and breathe with, and 45 minutes later, after downloading like 2 apps on my phone, losing almost all my charge while I'm sitting there at the store, they tell me, oh yeah, we don't actually have that one. So I'm like, I just wasted 45 minutes for nothing. Of course I did, because that's just kind of the way things go. I'm sitting in my backyard. It's a little raw back here. I was out by my tree, but in order to do this live, I got to be a little closer to my house for my internet to work properly. So bear with me. Plus, the sun is going in and out, so the brightness is probably going to be really bad. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately of what I wanted to do with my latest video. And, I really enjoy making my shorts, and I make sure I upload at least one of those a day. But, I want to be more out there for everybody. I appreciate everybody who's been paying attention to my channel. I love you, even though I might never meet you and not even know what your name is. I love every single one of you. And thank you. I kind of did this on a whim back when we had a blizzard back in mid-March, and just threw up a short 45-second video just to see what would happen. And it's like, oh my gosh, people are actually watching. Maybe I should try this. And here we are. And it's a beautiful day today. Definitely not any snow. I'm in northern Wisconsin, so I mean, it's not super hot yet. It's supposed to be next week, but we have humidity, so it's going to be interesting. Not so much worried about myself as I am about my Pooch Bailey, which if you've watched any of my other videos, you might see in the background. But let's go back to the frustration thing, because I think that's actually a good subject. Life can be so complicated without us even trying. And I made that more complicated than I probably needed to. I should have just been like, hey, you got the money, just buy the darn thing and get it over with, be in and out. By the time you get home, you can just set the thing up and you'll be good to go before lunchtime. Well, an hour later, after getting frustrated and having to apologize for the person who was being more than helpful to me because I just couldn't quite get it figured out, I finally got my laptop home. Then, less than 10 minutes later, my son calls me. He's at work. He's an adult, but he lives with me. And he had 3 packages coming this morning. So here I am trying to set up my laptop, still frustrated from. And next thing you know, he's like, can you go through some of these boxes for me, make sure everything's okay? And I'm like, I'm in the middle of something else here. But he's he's a truck driver, so he only had a few minutes while he was stopped. And that was the best he could do. So I'm like, okay, fine. At the risk of copyright, I love my Pepsi. Anyway, just a little side note there. So I start going through his boxes, and in the meantime, the computer is asking me all these questions. But, one really cool thing did happen. I had as I was going through, I was so concerned about losing my progress from my other computer, my other laptop. It still works, but like I couldn't start it, I couldn't stop it. I was losing my games and I couldn't get them back. And so I'm like, well, I just need to just break down and buy a new one at the risk of losing all my progress. Well, with the exception of the progress of my games, which I can live with. Everything else came back. My any chat GPT history I've had for the last however many months. Um, my obviously my email. Um, my YouTube channel downloaded pretty quickly. And my search history is there. For those of you who don't have a YouTube channel, you have your history, but then you have another page you go to for anything that you've downloaded in the past on YouTube and as you're creating your channel. And that's all there. And what was the other one that was surprised me? Oh yeah, Canva. All my Canva history was uploaded within about 30 seconds. I was like, shoot, I'm going to have to redo all of this again. And it's like, no, because I had an account and it was all logged in. All I had to do was say, yes, it's me. And there it was. And I looked into it and everything was there. So, but the only thing that didn't come back was what I currently have on my laptop, my other laptop, in my search history from the internet, which chances are I was probably going to erase and reload anyway. I have one more page I have to attempt to find, and that's my son's website. But that should be easy enough to do as well. But I'll worry about that later. Otherwise, I do still have access to the other laptop. So, but the frustrating, again, it was so frustrating, but at the same time, then things just sort of simplified. And here I am about 2 hours later. Yes, I'm sitting in the sun, but I am recording on my new laptop. And there goes the sun behind the shades or behind the house for at least for a minute. Yes, I live in a yellow house, not by my choice. But it just happens to have always been yellow and I acquired the house. So I'm in a yellow house. Yellow is my favorite color, but not necessarily the color for my house. And yes, here I am rambling without a whole lot of purpose, but at the same time, I did want to talk a little bit about what my page is supposed to be about. When you find those frustrating moments, remember that you are what's the word I'm looking for? Representative of what Jesus is supposed to be like. And with that being said, I was not very Christ-like this morning. And so I have some groveling to do. But, the really cool thing is he will forgive me. And I love him for that. My dog will forgive me. My son will, he doesn't have anything to forgive me for. At least not at this precise moment. The woman at Walmart or at the store will hopefully forgive me. And yes, it was Walmart. This is a very small town. We don't have very much. There was a customer that was walking by who said they were visiting from California. They wanted a souvenir from town. Oh, there goes a fire truck. I live on a highway too, by the way. This is going to be completely unedited, so that's going to stay in there. Hopefully whoever it is okay. Anyway, they're like, where can we get a souvenir? And 4 of us were trying to figure out one place in town where they could get a decent souvenir. and there's only one place that we could think of. And when I told them a little bit about the place, they're like, no, we're not interested in that. And I'm like, well, they got really cool souvenirs. You might not agree with what they stand for. He's like, yeah, but we're not going to give them more money. I'm like, well, that's a whatever. What if they go there, they go there. But we got excited when we had an A&W. That's how small of a town we are. That's like the only new thing we've gotten in the last 5 years in this town. We've had stuff go out, but we haven't had much come in. We have a county fair every year, which is just down the road from me. We have car races every once in a while, but we have very limited options for stores. But I didn't come on here to tell you about my town. I came on here to talk about frustration. When you find yourself, and I'm just going to leave it at this, when you find yourself being frustrated, just stop and think for a second. Is what I am frustrated and angry about really going to change my life? Or am I just wasting energy? And your reaction is actually more important than your feelings, because your feelings are your feelings and you can't always help your feelings. But you can control your reaction. My reaction was completely wrong, and I guess this is kind of my way of saying we're all human. I'm definitely human, and I'm coming on YouTube, and I'm admitting to a very huge mistake about how I was not a very decent person this morning. And I work in customer service, so I should know better. But at the same time, like I said, I did apologize to them like half a dozen times. So hopefully they forgive me. But I do know that God will. Now, this was just kind of a rambling video, 12 minutes long. And if you watched till the end, thank you. Yeah, just something different, a little bit of not a whole lot to worry about. Just wanted to come on here and just ramble for 12 and a half minutes. Y'all have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye now.